Let's finish up our fifth halacha in Likutei Halachos Hilchos Chanukah. Halacha Hey, we're in the middle of it. We're at the place where we're explaining the idea of the surrounding intellect and the internal intellect, and that the surrounding intellect is the place of the source that houses all the unanswerable questions that inspire heresy. And that we're about to talk about how this is the embodiment of why the oil of the Chanukah candle, which was a one-day supply of oil, burned for 8 days. And it says like this. And there was only enough oil for 1 day, and it burned, and there was a miracle, it burned for 8 days. Because this surrounding intellect is not going to be illuminated for us and to be able to understand, to apprehend it until the future, the coming future. Shu Yom Echad Yivadal Hashem, and that's future is called Yom Echad Yivadal Hashem, a day of one, the one day that is known to God. And that's what it says, that there was only one, there was enough oil to illuminate, to last 1 day, just a day. Echad Hayalahatid Lavo. This day is referring to the one day that is revealed in the future. Shu Yom Echad Yivadal Hashem, when the one day revealed to Hashem, made known to Hashem. V'na'aseh nes v'dalak bo shmona yamim, and so there was a miracle that this burned for 8 days. Hainu sheyom echad, this one day, as we said, he'ir betoch hashivat yamim, that because of Chanukah, this idea, this concept, the spiritual root of the spiritual illumination of this one day when everything is known, when it's all God and it's clear, that was illuminated into the world, into the 7 days of the week through this act, this miracle that happened through this oil. So this oil embodied the power of this day of one to illuminate into the 7, and that's where we get 8 days, that there's the one illuminating into the 7. 1 and 7 is 8. Here, but this physical world, which is also embodied in the 7 candles of the original menorah in the Beit HaMikdash, in the temple, that through them it illuminates the surrounding to bring it into the internal. And through this, then, even though there was not maybe the ability to verbalize it, there was an understanding that came in, a sense of understanding when the surrounding light became internalized on a certain level of understanding. So therefore they understand that these questions that seem to have no answers, it's not a difficulty, because they actually somehow do have an answer, it's just that we can't understand it right now. That we see that the main miracle was in 7 days, because really there was enough oil for 1 day. So 1 day wasn't a miracle, it was the other 7 that were the miracle. That this 1 day, which is the aspect of the world to come, which is the aspect of the surrounding intellect, the surrounding light that becomes illuminated through the 7 candles, into the aspect of this world, the 7 days of this world. Therefore, we need to light all 8 in order to illuminate on the first day of Chanukah the illumination of the existence or the knowledge or the understanding that comes in the world to come, which is the aspect of 1 day. And then from that 1 day is drawn the awareness of the higher existence, of the higher knowledge, into all the 7 days, the aspect of this world. Because since the Greeks sullied, polluted, defiled all the oils, meaning to say, and it implies that they polluted our understanding, they polluted our minds, they polluted our thinking with heretical concepts of apikoursus. Because intellect of holiness, that's what they imbued in us, and that's still going on today. It used to be that it was never a thought that a Jewish person would go into university. And now people are going to say, this is terrible. How can you say so? It's a good thing that we're going to university. And I also thought this too. But you know what? The more I've been involved in this world of holiness, and I understand a little bit the nature of the pollution that happens from existing with the Gentiles and their ways of thinking, and that when I first started becoming observant, I actually thought I had the underlying intention, which I didn't realize, was I was synthesizing Torah with my Western American upbringing, because I was under my illusion, my impression, because I was brought up in the West, was this is the way we think. See, if we're brought up with a certain way of thinking, it's hard for us to change and think that something else might be true. Whatever we're brought up with and we're surrounded with our culture, that we come to believe is the truth. So being brought up in America and the West, we have all these understandings that they seem to be, this is truth, and it seems to us this must be Torah also, since if this is the truth and Torah is truth, and we see some of these ideas in Torah, it must be that these are true. So we're going to bring these all together, and the ancient ideas from pure Torah people that didn't involve themselves, that didn't mix in with any type of foreign thoughts, any type of Hellenistic Greek thoughts whatsoever. Oh, those are outdated, those are wrong, those are just because they're old, and we're modern now. And this is something that we have to deal with. And again, the way that we deal with it is not by listening to Moshe Newman and hearing what he has to say and saying, oh, he must be right. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting for you is that you pray about this and ask God in your own language, as we've talked about. Just tell him the truth. God, I got all these ideas that it seems like these are truth. I grew up in America, I grew up in the West, and it seems like these ideas that I can't really reconcile them. I can't really reconcile them with some of the things I've seen in Torah. So please, if there's anything that's true, anything that's false, I should say, in what I'm believing, please show me, because ultimately I'm blind, and this is the world of lies, and things are not always as they seem, and only you really know the truth. So I'm at a loss. I'm a helpless person here, and unless you have compassion and do this for me and illuminate my thought, the truth for me, what chance do I have? Maybe I'm stuck in lies. So we have to always be humble enough to think that, you know what, I don't know, and I'm trying to be that way. Just because I'm learning this and doing this doesn't mean I think I know everything. I pray like this frequently. I try to say, Ribbon Shalom, please, I want your truth, I don't want my truth, please illuminate for me. So when I'm suggesting these ideas to you from that are bringing here, that we're polluted, that in our long exile, and today we think, oh, this because it seems right and it seems good, it must be true. It's oftentimes it is, but not always. And what we want to do is make that final sifting for the sake of the full redemption, and we do that through our prayer. So we say is that these were the idea. This was the idea of the polluted oil, that the oil that our holy intellect became confused with other things that were outside of the realm of holiness. Alkein hutzrachu. Therefore, there was a need to renew and to arouse from anew the intellect that is rooted in the world to come. Bechinat hamakif, in the aspect of the surrounding light, the surrounding intellect. In order to illuminate for us into this world, into our internalized intellect, as we said. Therefore, on each day of Chanukah, we add a candle, and we go forth one to the next. In order that we want to root all of the intellect, all the illuminations, we're rooting back in the first day, because that's why we always have that first candle that we had still will persist and be there. The first day we have one candle, the second day we have the one candle and the second candle, etc. Each day we're always rooting back into that first place of unity, the place of the illumination of the awareness from the world to come, that is the surrounding intellect that comes into, and we want to draw it into our internalized self. כי ביום ראשון מדליק אחד וביום שני שניים, דהיינו א' ב', ביום שלישי א' ב' ג', etc. נמצא שבכל יום חוזר לראשון, כי יום ראשון מאיר בכל השבעת ימים, because the first day then will illuminate into all the 7 days, and may it be His will that we should be able to receive that understanding of the higher intellect, and to be able to internalize it and have a strong sense of Hashem's unity, a strong sense of the Kedusha, and in so doing the entire world will be redeemed, will come to peace, will come to blessing, will come to mutual love, mutual respect, and an acknowledgement of the Creator as one. Amen.